Now, what you want to do is take your potato masher and just squish your avocados. And you want to do this until you have absolutely no lumps whatsoever. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, likes lumpy guacamole. That should just about do it. And for all of those, if you don't know, if you have a potato masher, you can always just use your old friend, the fork. Now, whenever you have fresh produce from the store, you always want to make sure to wash it because you never know what's been touching it. And even a tiny little bit of soap won't hurt. See, just, a dime size. And all over. And make sure your water is nice and hot. And then dry it off. And now you have a clean tomato. Now, I'm going to show you how to cut your tomato. You just cut it right down like that. And then you flip it over to the flat side so it doesn't wobble on you. And now what you do is, I personally don't like big chunks of things in my guacamole. So what you want to do is just make little thin slices. See, just like this. So that way you don't have any big chunks of tomato in your guacamole. Now that you have your tomato all chopped up, you just scoop it right into your avocados. And depending on how big your avocado is or how much you're making is how much tomato you want to use. Like, I have a fair amount of avocados, so I'm going to use a whole tomato. But if maybe you had a smaller one, you might want to use half. Or if you had a bigger one, you might want to even use 2. It's all up to you. Now, for the onion. And you may be wondering, how do you get the skin off the onion? I will tell you, you don't claw at it. Okay, don't do that. What you do is, you cut the top off. And try not to take too much off, but enough. And you do the same thing with the bottom. And then what you do is you sit it on the counter. Don't hold it in your hand, because then it can do like that and nick your finger. Personal experience. You sit it on the counter, and you just make a slit right down the onion. And now you can start clawing at it. See, it just peels right off. And it's okay to get a little bit of the top layer. No one likes that anyway. In case you couldn't tell, I'm a big Food Network fan, and Rachel Ray happens to be one of my favorites. So I'm going to copy her and have a garbage bowl. And that really comes in handy when you're peeling onions, because you don't have to walk all the way to the trash can, and you can just sweep it right into the bowl. Now I'm going to show you how to quarter the onion, because that's all we're going to use is 1/4 of this onion. Once again, you sit it down flat on the cutting board so it doesn't roll on you. And you keep it flat on the cutting board so it doesn't roll. Because like I always say, safety first. And it does help to have a parent around. So what you do is you put the knife right in the middle of the onion, and you put your hand flat on this part of the knife. And you just go right down, and you pick 1/2, flat side down, and once again, whack it. Now the way I like to cut my onion, once again, in small pieces, because having a big chunk of onion is even worse than having a big chunk of tomato. So what you do is you just put your knife right in the middle, and you go straight down. And you do that until you get all the way down your onion, just like so. Then what you do is hold your hand flat on top of the onion, and you just put the knife right through there, so that way it gets even smaller, and you just chop. Now you just put your onions right into the bowl. And of course, if you don't really care for onions, you can always leave them out. I mean, this is your creation. Do what you want. But I think the onions just add a little extra kick to it.